This is 2018 part 1 question paper. Let's read the instructions first. Area of the curved surface of a right circular cylinder of radius r is this one. Curved surface area of a cylinder is this one. If r is denoted by radii and h is height. Where necessary, use 22 upon 5. 22 upon 7 for pi. So you cannot use 3.14 for the part 1 questions because in the instructions they clearly mentioned like this. So without seeing this, sometimes students might just input instead of pi 3.14. So that is incorrect, no? So according to an instruction only we need to do the questions. It has been estimated that it will take 10 men 6 days to complete a certain task. Find the number of days it will take 8 men to complete the job, double the task. So first of all we will find the total task for the first estimation. Total task. What we need to do? You should multiply 10 men into 6 days. So that will give you 120. Sorry, not 120. It would be 60 man days. 60 man days. Find the number of days it will take 8 men. So here we are going to consider about the number of people as 8 men to complete job which is double that task. This is the previous task. Now the task became double. So what would be the total task now? New total task would be 120 men days. Double that task. It should be completed by 8 men. So divide this by 8 men. Men and men, it can be simplified. 120 divided by 18. That will give you 15 days. 15 days. So this is the correct answer. You have to do all the necessary steps calculation within the given blank. Okay, they will give you a significant amount of space that is totally enough to complete this question within this space. So don't exceed this space. So additionally, like mine, don't write like this. Within this space, you have to write your answers. This is the first one. Now let's move to our second question. Factorize this one. So to factorize a quadratic expression, you should multiply both n members. It would be 2x square into 6, negative 6, negative 12x square. Suitable multiplicants would be 6 to 112, 6 to 3, 4, 112. So here 6 and 2. If the middle member having a positive, we have to give positive to the higher number in each multiplication pair. Since the multiplicand is having a negative, so the lower number should have a negative quantity. 6 minus 2, it cannot be 1, so we can omit this one. 12 minus 1, 11, so that one also not satisfying the condition of positive 1x. So here positive 4 and negative 3. 4 minus 3, that would be positive 1. So we got the suitable multiplication pair. So it would be 2x square minus 3x plus 4x minus 6. You have to select two members and select the binomial factorization. You have to do the binomial factorization. For these two members, we can select x as a common factor. Thereafter, we will have 2x minus 3. In the second set of binomial values, we can select positive 2 as a common factor. Thereafter, inside bracket, we will have 2x, 4x divided by 2, 2x, negative 6 divided by 2, it would be negative 3. Finally, the factors, both are having 2x minus 3. So, I will write that one. 2x minus 3. Thereafter, before that, the coefficients x and plus 2. That would be the next binomial factor. x plus 2. X plus 2. First multiply both n members, select the suitable multiplication, and the sum of those two values should give you positive 1x. Likewise, select the suitable pair. It would be negative 3x and 4x. And from these four members, you have to separate them into 2 and thereafter do the binomial factorization. So finally, binomial factors would be these two. 2x minus 3 times x plus 2 would be equals to 2x square plus x minus 6. So next, third question. Find the value of x based on the information. This is very simple question. Interior angles of a triangle equals to 180. So when I get the sum of the interior angles, x plus 3x, it would be 4x. 4x plus 80, that should be equals to 180. Okay, so x plus 3x. X plus 3x, that means 4x plus 80, that is equals to 180. Sum of interior angles in a triangle. Then 4x would be equals to 180. The plus 80 will become a negative 80. So 180 minus 80, that would be 100. So to find x, answer for x, you should divide 100 by 4. X would be equals to 25 degrees. So here you have to take a look clearly. Sometimes they will ask, what is 3x? So unfortunately, in one of the year, most of the students did that question in wrong manner. They just found only x, but the question was to find 2x or 4x. I don't remember that one. So in that one, you have to read the instruction very carefully. Next one, in the plane, in the figure ABCD is a star. That means 7, 7, 7. This is radii, this is also 7. BC is a sector. Find the perimeter of the composite shape. So to find perimeter, we have these. We need to find this particular arc length. For that, 90 upon 360 into 2 pi r. 2 pi 22 upon 7 and radii, that is 7 centimeters. We can simplify. This is 4 times 1 time 1 time 1 time. Then 2 times 22, 44 divided by 4. That will give you the arc length as 11 centimeters. 11 centimeters. To find the perimeter, you should add all the external lengths. 7 plus 7, 14 plus 7, 21 plus 7, 28 plus 11. It would be the perimeter. It would be equals to 39 centimeters. Next, fifth question. This is also a simple question. Here the denominator was 2x, so you have to make the first denominator also an identical one. So I will multiply the first denominator, first fraction by number 2 to make the denominators as identical one. 4 times 2, it's 8, divided by 2x minus 1 divided by 2x. Since the denominators became same, we can do the operation between numerators. 8 minus 1, it would be 7. So this is the correct answer. We cannot express this one in mixed fraction. So just keep your answer as an improper fraction. In the figure, ABCD is a straight line. Find the magnitude of DAB based on the given information. DAB means this angle. This is what we need to find. Before that, ABC is a straight line. This is 30. Look at this. This is an isosceles triangle. So this angle also would be 30. Also would be 30 degrees. This is 30. This is also 30. That means this obtuse angle would be 120. This is 60. If this is 60, look at this. This is also another type of isosceles angle. Isosceles triangle. So angles opposite to the equal sides are also equal. So if this is 60, this also would be 60. Interior angle sum in a triangle would be 180. So already these two angles 60 and 60. So this one also would be another 60. The question is to find the magnitude of DAB. DAB, it is equals to 60 degrees. This angle DAB. Seventh question. Okay, so the normal notation was given, index notation, that should be converted to logarithmic notation. 10 to the power of 1.42, that is equals to 26.3. Okay, so here we can write this one as, in logarithmic notation, log base 10, the value should be denoted here, 26.3 equals to the index 1.42. Conversion from index notation to logarithmic notation. Here one more thing, log base 10. Instead of log base 10, we can denote this one as LG. 26.3, it would be equals to 1.42. That's all about this question. Eighth question. Rectangular sheet of paper this much has been pasted such that it exactly covers the curved area of a solid, right? Okay, this one. So that means this is the particular rectangular sheet was pasted to cover the entire curved surface of a solid right circular cylinder. That means the curved surface of the cylinder, that is equals to the rectangle's area. We know the area of the rectangle is, it is 880 square centimeters. And we know another additional data that the radius of the circle cylinder, okay, the bottom part cylinder, that was 14. By using that, you have to find height of the cylinder. So in the initial part of this paper, okay, in the initial part of this paper, in the instruction, we have the relevant formula. Area of the curved surface of a right circular cylinder of radius r and height h is 2 pi r h. So we can apply that formula here. So it would be 2 pi r h, that is equals to the curved surface area 880. 2 pi is 22 upon 7, radius 14, height, that's the parameter we need to find, that's equals to 880. 7 and 14, it can be simplified one time, two times. So 2 times 22 into 2, h. So 88 times h, that's equals to 880. From that, h would be 880 divided by 8. H is 10. Height, no. So the unit should be in centimeter. 10 centimeters. That is the height of the particular cylinder. In the ninth question, ABC 4-point magnitude of DEC. There are two methods. You can use DEC. So you should know one theorem, that when we connect these two lines, these 2 points A and B, that will create a chord in this circle. So this chord will truncate this circle into two separate regions. So the smaller region called as minor segment, the bigger region, that would be our major segment. In the major segment, there are two triangles. This is creating two triangles which are subtended on the circumference of this particular circle. If this angle is 40, this angle also would be exactly 40 degrees. Exactly 40 degrees. And thereafter, I will draw this. Okay, look at this. This is 40. This angle already known, that is 15 degrees. We need to find this particular angle, DEC. DEC. exterior angle of a triangle equals to sum of interior's opposite angles. Exterior angle, this is the exterior angle of a triangle, equals to sum of interior's opposite angles. Interior's opposite angles. There are two opposite angles, 40 and 15. So when we get the sum of 40 and 15, that would be our DEC. DEC, that is 55 degrees. I'll repeat this question once more, what we did. You should connect these AB points. Okay, that will create a chord in the circle. The chord will truncate this total circle into two regions. So smaller region is minor segment. This bigger region is major segment. In the major segment, by using a same chord in same segment of the triangle, when we draw two triangles, those will create same angle when they subtend on the circumference. If this angle is 40, here also 40. So think about it. You can see capital M or capital W letter. By using that, you can identify this chord related theoretical angles. So here we have capital M kind of shape. So those angles are same. Thereafter, if this is 40, this is 15. Now we need the exterior angle. Exterior angle of a triangle equals to sum of interior's opposite angles. 40 plus 15 would be 55. That's all about the 9th question. Then 10th one. X square minus 36 equals to 0. So x square would be 36. X should be equals to, when you have a square value, you have to write square root. But while writing the square root, definitely you should denote plus or minus. Plus or minus. So the answers are plus 6, minus 6. Plus or minus square root of 36 would be 6. So we will have two solutions, plus 6 and minus 6. 11th question. It takes 8 minutes to completely fill the tank of capacity 480 liters with water using a pipe through which water flows at uniform rate. Find the rate which will. Okay. So you have to find the rate. There is no any restriction with the unit. So to find the rate, volume should be divided by time. So the total capacity of the tank was 480 liters. It should be divided by time 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Not only M, you should write MIN. M means meters. So minute means MIN. 480 divided by 8, it's 60 liter per minute. 60 liter per minute, that is the unit of your rate. If not, if you want to convert this one to liters per second also, that's possible. So instead of 8 minutes, you can write 480 seconds. So that will give you 1 liter per second. Both are correct. That's your convenience. But there is no any restriction with the rate. So you can use whatever you want. Fill the blanks with using suitable words. The opposite blank of a parallelogram are equal. So here you can fill either angles, opposite angles also same. If not, you can write opposite sides. Opposite sides also same. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. The blank of a parallelogram is bisected by each of its diagonal. The blank of a parallelogram is bisected by each of its diagonal. So blank means the area. Area of the parallelogram. So when you draw this diagonal, this one also will dissect the total area. If not, when we draw this diagonal, this one also will bisect the total area. So both are suitable. Both diagonals will bisect the total area. So that blank should be filled with area. And the 13th one, find the probability of getting either a multiple of 2 or a multiple of 3 when a fair die with the sides 1 to 6. So to get two multiples, the probability either this one or this one. So we have to include both of them. If that is 2 multiple, answers would be 2, 4, 6. and 3 multiples, that means 3 and 6. So what are the overall outcomes? So overall different outcomes, that is 2, 4, no, 2, 3, 4, 6. And totally how many values in the die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the expected outcomes. Either a multiple of 2 or multiple of 3 when a fair die with its sides numbered 1 to 6 rolled. So this is the probability what we need. In the denominator you have to denote the total numbers it has. So probability would be, in elements we denoted, but actually you need to denote the probability in numbers. So how many numbers here we have? 4 numbers. In denominator totally 6 numbers. So probability to get this particular outcome 4 divided by 6. You can denote this one as 2 upon 3. Both are correct. You can keep it as it is or else you can simplify. The diameter of a circle is shown in PQ. This is diameter. That means the midpoint of the circle should be situated somewhere in this diameter. You need to find the value of x. So the method is, look at this triangle. In this triangle, this is a diameter. So half circle. When you construct a triangle inside half circle, so the angle subtended on the circumference would be a right angle. Right angle. And thereafter, we can use one more theorem, cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals. In cyclic quadrilaterals, sum of opposite angles are equals to 180. Cyclic quadrilateral means 4 different points connected in a circumference of a circle will create cyclic quadrilateral. So if this angle is 110, this angle, its opposite angle in this cyclic quadrilateral would be 180 minus 110. This is 70. This is 70. And thereafter, look at this triangle. The previous triangle in here, sum of interior angles in a triangle equals to 180. That means 90 plus 70, 90 from the theorem. Semicircular triangle plus cyclic quadrilateral opposite angles plus the needed x. It would be equals to 180. So x should be equals to 180 minus 90 plus 70. That means 60. X would be equals to 20 degrees. 20 degrees. So not only a single theorem. Here we just implied 3 different theorems. Semicircular triangle is a right triangle. Cyclic quadrilateral opposite angles are 180 and interior angle sum in a triangle. 15th question. Find the income tax that a person who earns an annual income of 800,000 rupees has to pay according to this table. So for the initial 500,000 tax free. So the next 500,000 4%. So let's subdivide his income. So total income was 800,000. So I will split the 800,000 as initial 500,000. There is no any tax. For this one, tax free, no tax. But remaining how much? After this 500,000, he is earning additional 300,000. For this one, he needs to pay 4% of tax. For this one, 4% of tax. So that is the one and only amount of tax he needs to pay. So you need to find 4% of 300,000. That means 4 upon 100 multiplied with 300,000. We can simplify. It would be 3,000 times 4, 12,000 rupees. He is not earning directly this much, no. Directly 500,000. After the initial 500,000 zone, he is additionally receiving 300,000. So for this amount only, he needs to pay 4% of tax. So totally 12,000 rupees. And next question, a composite figure consisting of a semicircle, okay, this one with radius 7 centimeter and triangle is shown here. Find the area of the entire figure. So first, let's find area of the semicircular portion, then area of the triangle. We can add them together. First, semicircle's area. For that one, half into pi r square. Half into pi r square. This is a semicircle. Half into pi 22 upon 7. Radii, that is 7. 7 square means 7 into 7. This 7 simplified with this 7, 2 and 22 simplified 11 times. So 1 into 11 into 7, it would be 77 square centimeters. That's the area for this one. And area for the triangle would be half into base into perpendicular height. Half into base into perpendicular height. Base would be this total one. Perpendicular height is coming from opposite vertex towards the base. So this would be the perpendicular height. That's 7. What is the base? Base is here 7 radii. So diameter would be 14. This is also 7. So the total base is 14 centimeters. Multiplied with perpendicular height 7. So 2 and 14 simplified here 7 times. 7 times 7, 49 square centimeters. When we add these two separate areas together, we can find the total area of the composite figure. 77 plus 49, it would be 126. Let's write total area equals to 126 square centimeters. Next, 17th question, midpoint theorem. So when we connect midpoint of two sides of a triangle, the third, this connected line, the construction would be parallel to the third side and half of its length. Half of its length. The parallel one is needed here because we need to find the angle. Based on the diagram, we need to find the angle. Midpoint theorem says when you connect midpoints of two sides of a triangle, that line should be parallel to the third side of the triangle. These are parallel. So if this is 100, these two are parallel. No? Look at this. If these are parallel, if this is 100 degrees, its corresponding angle. Corresponding angle. This also would be 100. This also would be 100. Then I'll draw this diagram here. These are two thin. So inside this we cannot draw the construction properly. That's why I am drawing additional diagram for your explanation. Here 20 degree, here 100 degrees. This is X. You can use two methods. Exterior angle of a triangle equals to sum of interiors opposite angles. Exterior angle 100, that is equals to sum of interiors opposite angles. So X plus 20. 100 should be equals to X plus 20. So X, that is 80 degrees. 80 plus 20 equals to 100. From that we can obtain the answer for X as 80. If not, another method that is also same as this one. Straight line. In the straight line, adjacent angles. Sum of adjacent angles in a straight line equals to 180. Already this angle was 100, so this angle would be 80. Thereafter you can use sum of interior angles inside the triangle is 180. So 180, x plus 20 plus 80, that is equals to 180. From 180, when we subtract 80 plus 20, that will give you x as 80. There are two methods. Either you can use this one, the exterior angle is equals to sum of interior angles sum. Otherwise, you can use this method. In matrices, we are multiplying first these values with this one. Okay, in multiplication, this is the pattern. So the first row should be multiplied with first column. So I will multiply that one. I'll use the colors properly to denote that one. First value in the row should be multiplied with first value in column. 2 times 1, that is 2. Negative 1 times negative 2, that is also 2. Negative 1 into negative 2, that one also 2. So these two should be added with each other. Likewise, first row should be multiplied with second column. 2 times 3, 6. Negative 1 times 1, negative 1. Next, second row should be multiplied with first column. 0 times 1, it's 0. 3 times negative 2, it would be negative 6. 3 times negative 2. Then finally, second row should be multiplied with second column. 0 into 3, 0. 3 into 1, it should be 3. It should be 3. Positive 3. So that's all about the multiplication. I'll repeat once more. Just look at the values carefully. First row, the green color one. First row should be multiplied with first column. First number multiplied with first number. Second number should multiplied with second number. 2 times 1, 2. Negative 1 times negative 2, it would be 2 again. And secondly, we need to multiply first row with second column. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 1 times 1, negative 1. And thereafter, thirdly, second row, first column. 0 into 1, 0. 3 into negative 2, negative 6. And finally, second row with second column. 0 into 3, 0. 3 into 1, positive 3. And thereafter, let's add and subtract to do the operations. 2 plus 2, 4. 6 minus 1, 5. 0 minus 6, negative 6. 0 plus 3, 3. So this is this. Okay. This is identical to this one. You can see instead of x we have 4. So x should be equals to 4. Y, that is 5. Instead of y we have 5. So y should be equals to 5. And other two values are identical. Negative 6 here, 3 here. This is about the multiplication of matrices. And 19th question. The center of the circle in the figure is O. Find the magnitude of OCB. OCB. This one. Let's find. Here there are two theorems we need to apply. The first theorem would be, this is a chord, no? Look at this. Chord. When you draw the radii, okay, radii towards the chord, if the chord is bisected by that particular radii, these two are in perpendicular relationship. I'll repeat again the theorem. There is a chord. If the chord is bisected by a particular radii of the circle, the chord and radii both are in perpendicular relationship. So if this is 90, this one also would be exactly 90 degrees. Both are in 90-degree relationship. And thereafter, look at this. This is central angle. This is circumference angle. Central angle is double of circumference angle. Think about it. You have 2 points. By using that, you are creating an angle in the center, another angle in the circumference. So the angle in the center, that is double of the angle in circumference. Here we know the central angle as 50. So in the circumference, you will have half of it. So the angle here, it should be 25 degrees. Angle denoted in CBA, that would be 25 degrees. First we used the bisection of the chord and radii, the perpendicular relationship. Thereafter central angle, that is double of circumference angle. By using the A and C constant points, We created an angle on the circumference, another angle is subtended on the center. So central angle is double of circumference angle. Likewise, we found 25. Now I will draw this triangle here. This is the angle which we need to find, OCB. Here we have 90 and here we have 25. 25. So get the sum of 90 and 25, that is 115. From 180, when we subtract 90 plus 25, 115, that would be 65. 65. That is the remaining angle. That means OCB, that should be equals to 65 degrees. One last time. A chord and a radii. The relationship between those two, if a chord is bisected by a particular radii, those two are in perpendicular relationship. That is the perpendicular sign here. And another one is using two permanent points, we have created an angle in circumference and another angle in center. So the center angle in center is double of the circumference angle. So 25's double is 50. So here it would be 25. Thereafter, sum of interior angles in a triangle 180. From 180, when we subtract other two known angles, that would be 65 OCB. Based on the given information, Venn diagram, A complement union B complement in terms of its elements. So first I will identify A complement. A complement means outside of A. So outside of A we have 3 and 5. 3, 5. And secondly, B complement. Outside of B we have 4 and 5. The question is to find A complement union B complement. That means A complement, all the elements belongs to A complement plus all the elements belongs to B complement, both together in ascending order 3, 4 and 5. This is the answer. Write seventh term of the geometric progression with first term 8 and common ratio 2 as a power of 2. So that means in here we can write Tn in the geometric progression, that is equals to A into r to the power of n minus 1. A into r to the power of n minus 1. A is first term, r is common ratio, n is the particular term. Here we need to denote seventh term. So T7, that should be equals to, what is A? First term is 8 multiplied with r, 2 to the power of 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1. So 8 multiplied with 2 to the power of 6. But the question was asked as a power of 2. So you cannot denote the answer as 8 into 2 to the power of 6. The whole value should be denoted in terms of 2 as a base. So I can denote 8 as 2 to the power of 3 multiplied with another 2 to the power of 6. If same bases multiplied, we can add the indices. So it would be 2 to the power of 9. I'll repeat once more. This is the formula in geometric progression to find the general term. You can substitute the relevant values. 8 into 2 to the power of 6, that is the final answer. Instead of 8, we can denote 2 to the power of 3. Multiplication with same bases. So you can write the same base in your answer and add. While multiplication, you have to add the indices. While division, you have to subtract the indices. Since here we have the multiplication between two same bases, we can directly add the indices. That would be 2 with an index of 9. Find the gradient of the, there are 2 points given to find the gradient. There is a formula, y coordinate difference, y1 minus y2, y coordinate difference should be divided by x coordinate difference. I will denote y1 this one as y1. So 8 minus y2. Y value is the second one. 8 minus 4, it should be divided by x1 is 0 minus x2 is 2. 8 minus 4, 4. 0 minus 2, minus 2. 4 divided by negative 2. The gradient would be negative 2. Mostly students doing a mistake that instead of dividing y coordinate difference should be divided by x coordinate difference. They will mistakenly interchange the values. X coordinate difference divided by y coordinate difference. That is incorrect. Okay. Y values difference should be divided by x coordinate difference. 8 minus 4, 0 minus 2. So 4 divided by negative 2, the answer would be negative 2. First quartile of an array of data has been arranged in ascending order is 7th position. How many data are there in the array? Okay. If the first quartile or second quartile or third quartile, if that is having an odd value, you have to consider the overall value as n plus 1. Overall data in that particular quartile consideration as n plus 1. Okay, if the value of first quartile or second quartile or else median or third quartile, if you receive an odd position, so the overall data in that particular array as n plus 1. Since here we have our first quartile means 1 upon 4 of n plus 1. 1 upon 4 of the total data in that particular array equals to 7. So we can simplify this expression to get the answer for n. That means how many total data are present in that array. First I will multiply this with 4. So n plus 1 should be equals to 7 times 4, 28. Thereafter n should be 28 minus 1, 27. Totally we have 27 data count in that particular considered array. I'll repeat again. If you have the value as odd number, first quartile or second quartile or median or third quartile as an odd digit, you have to consider the total number of data are present in that array as n plus 1. If the values are even, you can directly consider total number of data in that array as n. Okay. Otherwise, if you have an odd number, while dividing by an odd number divided by 4, that will give you a decimal. No? So we cannot have decimal number of datas in the array. So that's why we are just adding to avoid that instance. Because think about it, if I divide an odd number by even number, for an example 9 divided by 4, any odd number, 11 divided by 4, 101 divided by 4, in these cases you will have some decimal answers, 2.25, 2.75. Likewise, number of data means that should be a whole number. Always that should be an integral value. It cannot be a decimal one. That's why we are just adding plus 1 with the overall value to avoid those decimal corrections. To avoid those decimal errors only, we are just adding 1 to resolve it. So first quartile, 1 upon 4 of total data in the array is equals to 7. We can simplify to get the answer for n as 27. And the 24th question, this is a division in fraction. We cannot do the division itself. Let's do this one as a multiplication. So while you are converting division as a multiplication, the right hand side fraction will become its reciprocal, 5b upon 9. Here we can simplify bb, 10 and 5, 2 times 1 time, 3 and 9, 1 times 3 In numerator we will have 1 times of a. In denominator we have 2 times of 3, 6. A divided by 6. That is the solution for the 24th question. In the given figure, ABCE is a parallelogram. That is an important data, and thereafter there are 4 points ABCD, so there is a cyclic quadrilateral. Find the magnitude of ECD. ECD, this. So to find that, before, if this is 100, this would be 80. This would be 80. And thereafter, just think about it. The cyclic quadrilateral theorem. In the cyclic quadrilateral theorem, opposite angles, sum of opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral equals to 180. Accordingly, if this is 80, this total angle would be 100. Total angle would be 100. But we don't need the total angle. We need a portion of that angle. And another additional data, ABCE is a parallelogram. In parallelogram, opposite angles are same. Now, if this is 80, this one also should be 80. Additionally, we found another detail that in cyclic quadrilateral, sum of opposite angles are 180. If this is 80, the total angle would be 100. But we know according to the parallelogram's opposite angle, this one has 80. So 100 minus 80. Total would be 100. From 100, when you subtract the larger angle portion 80, the remaining DEC, ECD. ECD would be 20 degrees. 20 degrees. Here we used cyclic quadrilateral theorem and thereafter opposite sides of a parallelogram. Opposite angles of a parallelogram. This is all about the part 1 questions in our 2018 O-level paper. So totally in your part 1, the total time allocation is 2 hours. Additionally, 10 minutes of reading time. So let's take the major time. You will have 25 MCQ questions. MCQ means this type of semi-structured questions. Thereafter, 5 essay type of structured questions. For these 25 questions, 1 hour. That means for each question, you can take around 2 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes. 2 to 2.5 minutes, that is the maximum time. But actually, you have to complete these questions within 2 minutes. That is the proper time. You have to complete this within 2 minutes. So you can complete the 25 questions within 50 minutes. So additional 10 minutes you will have by using that additional 10 minutes. If you have any doubts, you can invest your time to do those difficult questions. And in the section B, you will have 5 structured type of questions. That you will have fraction, area, and rate and percentage related question. Thereafter, probability, tree diagram and sample space related question. Then frequency polygon related questions. So for these, total time allocation for this one also 1 hour. Both together 2 hours. That means for this 1 hour. So each question should be completed within 12 minutes. 12 minutes, that means you cannot take the total 12 minutes. Try to complete. Now onwards, try to complete the questions within 10 minutes. So if you keep 2 minutes as an additional time, if you cannot understand a simple question, just leave the question as it is. Try to do other questions. So after completion of other questions, you can invest your time in that particular difficult part. So otherwise, if you spend 5 to 6 minutes to find a particular 4th part question, Roman number 4, you are invested 5 minutes. So you will lack of time for these simple questions. The tree diagram and sample space questions, the time it will be not enough to complete the question. So if you feel any difficulties, just spend 1 minute. Even though it's harder, just leave it, put a star mark and keep it as a note. Try other questions. Don't waste your time in the particular questions.